Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajase Sunantu Sakya Mokkadang Dhammasavana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Dhammasavana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Dhammasavana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Tasmatiha bahiya Ditte dittamattang bhavisati sute sutamattang bhavisati Mute mutamattang bhavisati vinyate vinyatamattang bhavisati Evang sikhitabbo bahiye natene natathe nevaide navidhe bhavisati ti. Most Venerable Santi Bhante and other Venerable monks and their friends in Dhamma. I hope you guys had a great morning, and I'm glad to be back here. Thank you for inviting Bhante. It's been a few years that I was here, and it's an honor to come back to share some Dhamma knowledge with you guys. I want to start with a brief story from the Buddha's time, just to give a context. I mentioned Pali phrase, I don't know how many of you understood that. It's an original language that Buddha used to teach people, and I changed a little bit because it's longer, so I made it shorter to fit this context. It was about a guy who had a misbelief that he was enlightened. This is during the Buddha's time, and he thought he is an enlightened person, and he considered himself, I'm a worthy person. So he was bragging about himself everywhere, and out of compassion, one of his relatives who knew about him told him that, actually you're not enlightened yet. And when you hear that, you get shocked, right? When you think that you're something and somebody tell you that you're not. So he was shocked, and he had spent some time contemplating on his practice. Then he thought, I need to find somebody who is enlightened. So he asked, is there anybody that I can go and learn from who is an enlightened person? And he heard about the Buddha. He heard that there's a Buddha, he's teaching Dhamma, he's special, you should find him and listen to him. And he agreed. He went in search of the Buddha. Back in those days, you have heard lots of stories, people follow different tradition. Like, they have different practices. This guy, his name was Bahir, I should mention. His name was Bahir. And he was following this tradition of nudity, like no clothes. That's the extreme practice that he was doing. On his way to find the Buddha, somebody warned him, that's not the best way you should go to the Buddha. Put on something so you cover your private parts. And he looked for something, couldn't find anything, so he found a couple of tree barks to cover his private parts. And he continued his journey, and that's where he got his name. In Pali, his name is Daruchiriya Bahir. So that means Daru is the bark, tree bark. That's how he got his name. So he found the Buddha. It's a long story, so keeping short. He went to the temple, but Buddha wasn't here in the temple. And he was impatient. He was so impatient that he didn't wait until Buddha come back. He asked where can I find the Buddha? The people in temple told he went on his daily alms round. So there's a tradition in Buddha's order, you find food, at least back in those days, you take your bowl and go for alms round. People offer whatever they can. And one of my best experience as a monk was going alms round when I was in Sri Lanka. Very young, and we loved it because you get varieties of food, not only temple food. So when you go for alms round, it's unique, and you feel humble too. So Buddha was on his alms round. Bahir ran to the Buddha, and he stopped the Buddha and he said, "Bhante, teach me something. I want to know your teaching, your method of meditation. So teach me right away." And there's a Buddha's ritual. He does not give talk. Typically, he does not give talk on his alms round. He has to finish it, come back to temple. That's where you get to hear him. Buddha said, "This is not the time. So can you be patient? Wait for a few minutes. Once I'm done, I'll teach you." Bahir said, "You never know, Bhante. This world is full of danger. Your life could be danger, and you might not survive for that long. I might die, so I don't want to wait. Just teach me something." Second time, Buddha stopped, didn't work. Third time, he again asked. Then Buddha gave a very brief teaching to this man. That's where I was repeating in Pali, Ditte dittamatang bhavisati. That means it's a very concise teaching of Buddha, where he tells, in what is to be seen, there must be only what is seen. In what is to be heard, there must be only what is heard. In what is sensed, there must be only what is sensed. In what is cognized, there must be what is cognized. Once you follow this path, you're not there, you're not here, you're free from both. How many of you understood that? I did not understand first time I read that, because it's very concise, very brief teaching. Buddha gave that to Bahir in that setting. For our surprise, Bahir understood the Dhamma, he became enlightened, and on his search for a robe, he wanted to become monk after his enlightenment, he got killed by a wild bull. So he was right about, I don't have time until he finished alms round. So he got killed. Buddha found his dead body and honored as he would do for an enlightened person. So that's the story part. And the reason I shared this idea, Ditte dittamatang bhavisati, is pretty famous phrase, Pali phrase in Theravada tradition. We use that, we hear that so often, but I don't think it's much understood part. It's little concise, complicated on its own. So I like this teaching because it relates to meditation. And as Bhante said, I teach on Cal State San Bernardino, and I also do a couple of research on mindfulness meditation. Right now we're close to publish a paper and working on the second one, how to measure mindfulness with some physiological feedback, trying to count breath, count heart rate variability. So we're doing all these ideas to test, if mindfulness works, if that produces some good result. And 2 weeks back we had a meeting and we were talking about mindfulness meditation, which is very famous these days. And there was an article by a big group of researchers. They were brutally criticizing mindfulness meditation based on some evidence. So it's not just their criticism, they have some evidence, why it's hard. And I was in discussion, I was trying to defend meditation, and I found myself a little swept away in this argument because I had to pause myself and I asked, wait a second, I don't need to defend mindfulness meditation. It has been tested 2600 years ago, and somebody proved it that you can free yourself. He laid out all these teachings for future followers. But what happened in long journey, we have lots of our own ideas added to this practice, cultural ideas, traditional ideas, context, the time, contemporary ideas to this practice, and it has been, in a way, polluted from its original nature. That's why it has been so difficult to practice and difficult to understand what exactly is mindfulness. So that's why I thought, share this phrase, ditte dittamatang bhavisati. That's the Buddha's teaching about meditation. And he encouraged his followers and himself to practice meditation in a way that you understand the nature of mind. Now, there was another discussion I'm trying to relate to, why I have this strong connection with this phrase. We had another discussion. They were trying to find out if you can measure speed of mind. I don't know, if you guys have any idea, let me know. I would love to hear if you can capture, how fast our mind works. In Abhidhamma, that's a different set of teaching of Buddha, talks about the speed of mind. We call mind moment, chittakkana. In Pali, this mind moment is equivalent to 17 life moment of a matter. So there are two things, right? Mind and matter. When matter can come to exist, last and pass away 17 times, I'm sorry, I think I had to switch. So when mind moment can come to exist, so last and pass away 17 times, matter has one life. So if you compare 17 times mind life equal to one matter life. It's that fast. And I'm talking about matter in a very, the smallest molecule. And if you can see, if atom is the smallest molecule, that molecule changes very fast, constantly exchanging electrons and neutrons inside itself. When it changes that fast, if you compare that with mind, mind changes a lot faster. The point is, you cannot measure the speed of mind. And Buddha tried to show how we interact with the world. That's where this comes to. So he advised, when it is about seeing, can you stop yourself as soon as you saw something and take it as seen, not go beyond that point. Ditte dittamatang bhavisati. When it is about seeing, stop yourself as soon as you saw it. Can you stop yourself as soon as you hear something? And that is sute sutamatang bhavisati. The challenge is, we have lots of experience from this life. In this life we have seen, heard, sensed, thought, so many ideas. It's almost impossible for a human brain to just see things and stop at as soon as you saw something. We have lots of opinions, lots of ideas. As soon as you experience this contact, passapaccaya vedana, as soon as you contact with the physical world, there is sensation. You feel something. And that sensation is either good, bad, or neutral. Right? That's sukha, dukkha, or sukhamasukha. Adukkhamasukha. When you have these three types of sensation, it's not human nature. I don't want to call human nature because you can alter it. It's such an old habit of us. As soon as you have contact with this external world, we capture on one of those sensations. Either we like it, we grasp onto it, either we hate it, we want to get rid of it, or you don't care because it's neutral. Now that's where this, we contact, we have a perception, we sense it, we perceive that object, that experience, and after that, yang sanjanati tang papancheti. Now that's the danger. As soon as you perceive, you don't stop there. You want to think about its nature. If it is good, I love this experience. It could happen in meditation. It could happen in a dinner. You're eating your food. It is so good, you forget that you're eating. You start thinking about, I want to have this same dish again, again, and again. That Buddha called that obsession papancheti. You make many copies of one single experience, and that's the danger. That's where we accumulate more klesa. That's the Sanskrit term for defilement. We accumulate lots of dirt in our mind based on just one single experience. Now, Buddha never warned, don't see things. If that is the case, enlightenment is impossible. You cannot become enlightened if seeing is bad. If hearing is bad, enlightenment is impossible. There is no danger in seeing, hearing, or sensing external world. We need that because that's how we survive. But the danger is grasping onto whatever you experience and clinging, holding that this is so good, I want this again and again. And that's where you make many copies, and that's where you lose the track. You're supposed to experience it and let go. Experience it, let go. And that's how enlightened beings, they manage to do it. And in meditation practice, at least when I'm sure we have similar practice. I teach a couple of classes, and I have practiced myself for years as a monk, and after I left temple, I still continue my practice. So in my experience, when you meditate, we are training our mind. It's like you're going to the gym. If you have a marathon, you need to prepare yourself. You need to build up your stamina, build up your muscles so you can take so much stress. And so is meditation. You're trying to build your mental strength. When you interact with the world, you have that strength not to obsess, not to proliferate. That's another, I love that term by Jnanamoli Bhante. The word, Pali word, papancha, is translated as proliferation. That's a fancy word. I don't know if it is common, which means you make multiple copies of same experience. And the way I like to explain that is, if you have a copy of a paper, let's say this is single copy, which is our experience. You enjoyed a dish or some experience you enjoyed with your senses. It's a single copy. Even it is a clinging or it's a experience of attachment, which is still pretty thin, right? And if you were able to contemplate, maybe after multiple meditation sessions, this is gone. You would be able to overcome that attachment. But the danger, that's what Buddha's warning is, yan sanjanati tang papancheti. Human has this old habit of proliferating. We don't stop with that single experience. What we do, we relate that experience to the past. We think, last night dinner was not so good, today's dinner is so good. You contrast your experience with the past one and you made one more copy. It is so good today, which is better than yesterday, you made another copy. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I want to have same dinner again and again and again. You made few more copies. Every time you think about that, you produced multiple copies, and which has turned to a big thick stack of papers of same experience. That is the burden. That is what keeps you going on in this cycle. And that's what Buddha warned Bahya. If you can, stop yourself as soon as you perceive something. As soon as you see something and, it's good. Good is good, bad is bad. You just stop yourself from proliferating. And in Abhidhamma, it's possible. I'm going to share that and I'll stop. Bhante told me to do 20 minutes. So in Abhidhamma, as you think of the process of mind, your mind it's resting. Let's start from resting point. And you see something, now you welcome the sensation. As soon as you welcome the sensation, Panchadwara Vajjana, you receive that, Sampatichana, you receive that, Santirana, now you try to analyze that experience. Now every time we go through that process, there are 7 mind moments where you produce karma. That's where karma is made. And Buddha is trying to help us. Can you stop before you produce karma? Without producing karma, can you just stop at the point where you just saw something and you acknowledge as it is seen? As you hear something, instead of thinking about that experience with associating with the past, present and future, can you stop as it is heard? Can you stop yourself as you smelled? Can you stop yourself as you taste? And can you stop yourself as you felt? And can you stop yourself as you have a thought? And isn't that related to what we practice in meditation? Right? When you sit down, that's the instruction. You breathe in, breathe out. If you get a thought from the past or any thought related to the future, just observe your thought as it's a thought. It's just passing thought. You try not to follow those thoughts and produce more thoughts. So Buddha's advice is pretty consistent with the meditation practice that was given to Bahia. And that's how it relates to Nathena. If you manage to do that, you won't be there. That means you will end the cycle, because you manage to stop producing karma. And stopping karma is possible only when you meditate. Now that's another misconception. People think you can stop karma by many activities, but if you talk from insight meditation point of view, it's only possible when you meditate and have that strong awareness about self. That could apply later on when you do any other activities. But at the beginning, you need to be very mindful of your thought, stopping from going to that proliferation. So if you stop that, you don't exist for next life. Nathena, na-etta. You won't be here either. That means you don't have another birth, another cycle, and you will be free from both cycles. So his idea of stopping yourself from proliferating leads to freeing yourself from producing more karma and more cycle of samsara. So I thought to share with you guys that part. Thank you.